Hey, I'm Mike Baccarello, and today we're going to take a look at a Jimmy Wyble concept as well as a George Van Epps concept, and we're going to take a look at how I personally expanded on these concepts to create my own chord melody arrangements. Let's take a look. These lines come from my arrangement of Autumn Leaves from my new album, Standard Deviation, which is out now and can be purchased on my website, Bandcamp, Patreon, as well as streamed anywhere. If you purchase the digital download of the album, you get a free 26-page PDF file that has all of the melody arrangements with tab included. So if you give the album a listen and you like what you hear, you can learn my arrangements of the tunes. This first concept comes from Jimmy Wyble's arrangement of All the Things You Are, and just the first measure. The first time I ever heard that, I was really blown away, and I thought, wow, what a creative way to arrange that melody. As I transcribed it, I realized he's holding the third of the chord, and he's walking up. So we're playing a G minor 7 here, and he's going B flat here on the 11th fret of the 2nd string, and then he's playing G on the 5th string, 10th fret, D with his 3rd finger on the 12th fret of the 4th string, and then F with his 1st finger on the 10th fret of the 3rd string. And then he walks up the scale from A. So he goes A, B flat, C, D, and he lands on E flat, which would be the next melody note. The first 4 notes, he's just building the chord while sustaining the top note. So I really started exploring this idea, and I came up with all kinds of different exercises and ways I could really get this concept into my playing. When I started messing around with Autumn Leaves in a solo guitar arrangement, I decided I wanted to do it in the key of A minor rather than the usual E minor or G minor that it's usually in, because I wanted access to the low 5th string. So in this key, the chords are D minor 7, G7, C major 7, F major 7, B minor 7 flat 5, E7, A minor 7. When I look at the melody, you got A, B, C, all on the 3rd string, 2nd, 4th, and 5th fret, and I land on F. Now F's the 3rd, and I thought I could play this chord shape. And I could do that through the whole tune. And that works, right? I've got a chord for the melody notes. But I wanted to utilize a little more motion in there, so I realized as I played the first D minor 7 chord, I could imitate that Jimmy Wyble idea from All the Things You Are. So I walk up the chord, and then I walk down the scale and set up the next change. So I start here with an interval of a 10th, with D on the 5th fret of the 5th string with my 2nd finger, and then F on the 2nd string, 6th fret with my pinky. And then I grab F on the 4th string, 3rd fret with my 1st finger, and then I grab C with my 3rd finger on the 5th fret of the 3rd string. So I've kind of imitated what Jimmy did. I walked up the chord, right? And now I'm going to walk down the scale. Play B with my 2nd finger on the 4th fret of the 3rd string, A on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, G on the 5th fret of the 4th string, E on the 2nd fret of the 4th string, and then I land on F with my 1st finger on the 3rd fret of the 4th string. Now I'm doing that all while sustaining F on the 2nd string with my pinky. Now this F here, this to me sets up the G7 chord, which sets with the next melody note. So there I play the melody G on the 5th fret of the 4th string, A on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, B on the 4th fret of the 3rd string, and then land on E with my pinky on the 2nd string, 5th fret, and then C on the 5th string, 3rd fret. So again, same 10th interval. And I climb up a C major 7, so this shape of the C major 7. G with my 3rd finger on the 5th fret, and then B with my 2nd finger on the 4th fret of the 3rd string. And then I walk down to A on the 2nd fret, G, E on the 2nd fret of the 4th string, and then I walk down this kind of F power chord here, where I'm playing F with my 2nd finger on the 3rd fret of the 4th string, and then I roll over to the 5th string on the 3rd fret, C, and then with my 1st finger I grab F. So here's the second portion. And the next part, I play F with my second finger on the 3rd fret of the 4th string, G with my pinky, A with my first finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, and then I grab a B minor 7 flat 5, just a regular shell voice. And I kind of finger pick through it. And then I play an E7 flat 9, or it's a B diminished, really. So all I'm doing is I'm just lowering the A from this chord to a G sharp. And then I play E on the 2nd fret of the 4th string, F sharp, G sharp on the 1st fret of the 3rd string, and then C here on the 5th fret of the 3rd string. And when I play at C, I grab the low A note. So that's the first 8 measures of my arrangement of Autumn Leaves. You see, I utilize that Jimmy Wyble idea of filling in the chord and then walking through a scale. Now for the second 8 measures of the tune, I take a look at this idea that George Van Epps talks about in the first Harmonic Mechanisms book. And he talks about, and I think it's one of the first pages in the book, he talks about learning all your intervals up and down the neck in all the different keys using different fingerings. Find different fingerings. There's different ways to play these intervals so you can grab them easily. And so, you explore thirds. Might do seconds. Fourths, fifths, and so forth, 6th, 7ths, octaves. Here, I'm using this concept with tenths. So same thing. So I start the same exact way I started before. Same set of notes. But instead of walking through the chord like I did before, I'm going to walk down to the next chord using the interval of a tenth. So here I got D and F, and that to me, that's a D minor 7, or just D minor. It's the root in the 3rd and it outlines the chord for me. If I walk down, I can get to G7, which is my next chord. I can get G and B. So I'm going to walk down diatonically. Got D and F, C and E, B and D, A and C, and that lands me on G and B. And I do it again. Same way I started the C major 7 section. So I got G, A, B, and I grab C and E, B and D, A and C, G and B, to F and A. This outlines the C major 7, walking out of the F major 7. So far we have now for this next section, I do kind of similar to what I did previously. I got F, G, A, just like before, landing on the B minor 7 flat 5, kind of finger pick through it. And I do this kind of Pasquale Grasso super flashy sweep pick, and I land on, and I grab B on the 4th fret of the 3rd string, D on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, C on the 5th fret of the 3rd string, and I grab A on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string as well as the open A string. And that takes care of my first 16 measures of the tune. Now to explain that sweep, I'm playing a D minor 7 flat 5 arpeggio. And I did a previous lesson on this where I looked through Pasquale Grosso's way of playing through this. But to go through it quickly, I'm playing D on the 5th fret of the 5th string, F on the 8th fret of the 5th string, A flat on the 6th fret of the 4th string, C on the 5th fret of the 3rd string, and then I'm going to shift up my first finger to the 7th fret, playing D again, and then F with my 3rd finger on the 10th fret of the 3rd string, A flat on the 2nd string, 9th fret, C and D on the 8th and 10th fret of the 1st string. And then for picking, I go up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, and I grab a diminished chord here to outline an E7 flat 9. I get a lot of questions about, arranging for chord melody and how to go about that. And I think the biggest thing is as you learn different concepts and you learn different tunes and you learn different people's arrangements, like you learn a Joe Pass transcription or you learn a Ted Green thing, try to take a look at what the concept is behind what they're playing and see if you can expand on that in your own way to build on that. And then as you do that, it becomes your own thing. And when it comes time to start playing a tune solo, you have this whole bag of tools to get around it. You have all these different interesting ways to harmonize melodies that you've learned from your favorite players. So I hope you enjoyed taking a look at that, and it would mean a lot to me if you guys would check out my new album. So thanks for checking out the lesson. Keep practicing. I'll see you next time.